It was an old ranch, but he got it for a song. The previous owner had put it up for auction because he owed the bank a ton of money. When our protagonist first laid eyes on it, he knew he had to make that place his own. It was a fixer-upper for sure, but there was something special about it. He took a deep breath of the fresh country air, feeling all the stress from city life melt away. He could hear birds chirping and a gentle stream flowing nearby. As he walked around the property, he imagined all the possibilities. The house might have needed a new roof, but the sturdy wooden beams promised many more years of comfortable living. And with a little TLC, the interior would be just as cozy. He could already picture his family gathered around the large dining table, sharing meals and laughter. Then he noticed some movement in one of the bedrooms upstairs. He stopped, surprised. Quoi? Was he really seeing what he thought he was seeing? Quoi? A young woman was sitting by the window, and as she turned her head, quoi? He saw that her hair was the color of wheat and her eyes shone like sapphires. She looked at him curiously, but before he could say a word, she disappeared. He shrugged off the strange encounter and continued exploring the ranch. Maybe he'd imagined the whole thing. He couldn't wait to get started on his project. There were 5 rooms, 3 bathrooms, a large living room with a stone fireplace and a floor-to-ceiling bookshelf. What had caught his attention was the writing desk tucked away in one corner. It was an antique with intricate carvings and a hidden compartment, perfect for storing his most valuable possessions. The desk was big enough for 2 people to work at, which made him wonder if the previous owner had used it for writing or maybe playing games with his children. But there was a problem. The desk was bolted to the floor. Why would someone do that? He looked around for a tool that might help, but there wasn't anything handy. Frustrated, he decided to take a break. He went outside to admire the view, but that's when he heard a soft voice behind him. Need some help? The woman from before stood beside him, holding a wrench. Her skin was as white as snow, and her lips were as red as roses. She had a necklace made of feathers around her neck and a quiver full of arrows at her back. Before he could respond, she had knelt down beside the desk and effortlessly lifted it. With a grunt, he helped her move the desk out of the room. Once they had it outside, she pointed to a pile of wood behind the shed. "You can store it there," she said, then disappeared before he could ask any questions. He shook his head, still trying to figure out who she was. But now he could finally use the desk. He smiled, touched by the mystery. As the days passed, he worked tirelessly on the ranch, determined to make it his dream home. Each morning he would start a fire in the hearth, hoping the woman might appear and share a story or two about the land. But she only showed herself briefly from time to time, always moving away when he tried to talk to her. One day, though, he found a feather on the floor, identical to the ones in her necklace. Huh? He carefully picked it up, touched by her elusive presence. One evening, as the sun set, he sat on the porch steps and let out a sigh. The silence was deafening. He missed the sound of human voices. That's when he noticed a figure standing at the edge of the forest. She emerged slowly, her eyes shining brightly in the fading light. She walked toward him, her steps silent and graceful, and he could see that she was young, no older than 18. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice echoing in the twilight. "Why have you been hiding?" She hesitated, then spoke in a voice as soft as the wind. "I am the spirit of this land," she said. "I have watched over it for many years." He frowned. "Why don't you come inside? We could talk for hours." She shook her head, her long hair flowing like a river. "I cannot stay in your world for long," she replied, "but I will watch over you and this land until it is time for me to move on." And with that, she turned and vanished into the trees. He never saw her again, but he felt her presence beside him as he finished work on the ranch. He realized that she had taught him a valuable lesson about respecting nature and the spirits that dwell within it. The old ranch became his sanctuary, a place where he could feel connected to the earth and the mysterious woman who had captured his heart.